More than 3,000 years ago, in the land of Egypt, a robust and handsome boy was born into the home of an Israelite man and woman. In a different time, the child's parents would have rejoiced at the birth of a son. Yet at this time, the Israelites were slaves in Egypt, and the king of the land, the Pharaoh, had issued a terrible decree that all boy babies born to the Israelites must be drowned in the Nile River. Now God had led the Israelites to Egypt hundreds of years earlier, when a great famine had ravaged their own land. And the man who was Pharaoh at the time gave them the best grazing land in all of Egypt, in a place called Goshen. But when he died, new pharaohs came to power who feared the strength of the many Israelites and enslaved them. For a generation, the Israelites were forced to labor under the burning sun as builders and bricklayers. And for a generation, they cried out to God and prayed for a liberator who would lead them out of Egypt. On that morning when the boy was born, Pharaoh's terrible decree had already taken effect, and the Israelites suffered more than ever. Yet this one woman resolved to save her son from Pharaoh's soldiers, for her heart would break from sorrow if harm were to come to the child. She hid the boy in her home for as long as she could, but after 3 months, she was unable to conceal him any longer. So one night, while the whole city slept, she sat by the light of an oil lamp and wove together a basket of bulrushes and dabbed it with pitch. And in the early morning, while the stars still shone in their places, she laid the boy in the basket and handed it to her daughter Miriam. Miriam ran to the place where Pharaoh's daughter, the princess, bathed each morning. She placed the basket among the bulrushes and hid behind a palm to see that the child would be safe. As the mist rolled over the river, Pharaoh's daughter appeared on the bank. The first thing she saw was the basket among the reeds. "Fetch me that basket," she said to one of her maidservants, who scurried down the bank and came back with the basket. The princess peered inside. "This must be an Israelite child," she said. Her voice awakened the sleeping boy, who began to cry, and Pharaoh's daughter took pity on him. "I will take this child and raise him as my own," she announced. And because she took him from the Nile, she called him Moses, which means drawn out of the water.